How you going, guys? Today we're in a Ranger, so this is your PX2 2015 to, I need to check, 2018ish. Yeah, so your PX2 and PX3 you can have a unit that looks like this. So you're going to be probably 2015 to 2022 when you look at your actual years. So there's two options here. There's this small display, and then there's like a bigger display. Now we've actually got the bigger displays crossed out on our on our website at like the moment, saying it doesn't fit, but actually we've had a customer put it in and it was fine. So we'll probably update that and just say, hey, if you have the bigger screen, send us a message, and then once we've had a few people do it and we've confirmed it, we've done it ourselves, and then we can say, hey, it works all good. This is the base of it. You got some steering wheel controls, factory USB port there, there's a auxiliary port there. As far as factory options, that's about everything you got going on. Obviously we've got a reverse camera here, and you got traction lines there and reverse like beepers, so all your factory options are still going to work. As far as the head unit goes, there isn't too much going on there, fairly like basic. Now if you do have the sort of bigger screen ones, it is hooked into like sync, which is like car's CAN system. So is our unit, but it just has some more climate control and stuff going on, because down here you got your climate controls, but the other ones also show it up here on the screen. So we'll go on and put this head unit in today. First piece to come off is a piece of trim here. So we include trim tools in the kit, so we're just going to come through and pop it off. Just go along. Just use a little bit of tape here just so you don't mark the dash, but to be honest the trim tools are soft anyway, so okay there, like that. And that takes off all like the bottom ones. Top ones you can pretty much come along with your hands and just work it out like that, and you'll see the whole thing pops out. So just these clips on the back that were holding it in, kind of see where they are to give yourself an idea. That came out fairly easy. Then we'll go over here, we have another one of these on this side. So again, there's a few little clips in it. Get your fingers in and you can get the top part out. So again, you can see the clips on that one. I just only need to pop in there, then I get my fingers behind it and pull it out. Fairly straightforward. We've got this big piece here that's going to come out, but first we need to drop off our little side pieces here. So just popped off so that side, now pop off this side. Again, these have got clips in them, so you can get your trim tool in there and just get it started. Like so. So I don't know if the camera's on that very good, but you trim tool and then get it started. And you come down it and pull from the bottom as well, like that. So you kind of want to pull it directly out towards you, because you can see all the clips are on like that sort of angle, so that's how you want to get it out. And that'll pop out like so. Then you're left with this big piece here. So normally these big pieces start from passenger side, give it a couple of tugs, and just take it all the way back. And it pulls off like that. Super easy, really. Again, just fingers behind it. A few tugs, don't reef on it. If you just sort of tug and move along, plastic always seems to come off quite nicely. Now, 7mm socket on here, and you've got a few. 1, 2, 3. Same on the other side. 4, 5, 6. We'll pop off all those, and then we'll go to the next step, a 7mm socket. Take them out, put them somewhere, probably in the cup holder, so you know where they are. Throw them in there, and off you go. Right, all of those are out. Then there's actually two more screws in this little, two more behind here. So let's see if you give these, if you give this a few little twigs, it actually just sits below the dash here. So if you just sort of push the dash up if you pull it out. Now what you got to do is this whole bit down the bottom, get your fingers in behind here, sort of directly behind where that 12-volt cigarette is and the USB. This whole bottom piece can pop out, so we'll pop that out like so. Pop that USB out, which I don't want to do. We'll put that back in. If you push the fingers in, you can see what sort of happened there. This part comes off, so put your fingers in there and it will actually sort of pop out. And then behind here we've got two more of those 7mm that we have to unscrew. So one there, try and get down low if you can maybe see, and there's two just in there. We'll take both of those off, and then we can actually pull this whole panel part off. Then you'll see this whole bit pops out, and then behind here you've just got a couple of plugs. So I will show them to you. just 2 plugs in the back here. They were just pushed down on the top plug, so push on that and pull it out. If it doesn't come out, push it back in hard, push down hard first, then pull out. That'll get out those 2 things. Then we can go and take out a few more of these other little bits and bobs. So again, 7mm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pops out our little top screen. These are all the same size, so you can mix them up, which is okay. Right, so now those are out, pull that out, plug in the back here. 2 plugs up the top, so that one's just a push down one. This is a cam lock, so push down the top and slide, so push down there and that slides over. And this little one in here, I thought it was just a push down one, but so they're all just push down ones. Even this one here just actually push down, even though when you push it down it feels like not much is going on. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening there. Maybe pull it up, but anyway, if you like pull it or push it, it comes out, and that's that little top screen. So we will remove that, and then we'll do the same thing down here. So you had your 3 plugs off the top. Again, we've got our 4 7mm again. Take those off. So all those 4 are out. Again, I should have said that start. If you want to keep a CD out of here, take the CD out before you start getting involved, taking things out. Now these ones are a little bit tight, so you're a little bit easier to come in your hand over the top here. And just push them all out, and I'll show you what happens. So that's them all out. It's the old unit. 1, 2, 3, 4 came out of there. So that is everything out now. Now what we're going to go and do is we'll go and swap over the old fascia to the new fascia. Right, so we'll go through and we'll cover what's in the kit to start with. It does seem like a lot when you probably first open it up, but I'll explain it all and it'll be okay. So this is a bit different from like our normal ones, is it's the deck plus the screen. Obviously so the deck and the CD are going to sit down in where the old one used to go, and on the back here you have our main 20 pin plug, auxiliary plugs, our GPS, 4G, AM, FM, and then we come up to our screen here. Back of our screen we've just got some plugs coming in. They're already sort of wired up, not to really worry about them. You can unplug them if you need to. So that is how that comes through. That's the screen. Old fascia is built into it. Instruction manual for our M series here. Go through all our wires. So we have our 4G antenna, our dual USB and external mic port, our 3rd USB port, drink assistant, GPS antenna, 4G SIM card tray, extra antenna because like some models need this for better AM FM. Our reverse in plug to keep our factory camera or aftermarket camera going, or a second camera. Pre-outs if you're going to run an aftermarket sub or amp. USB retention cable to keep the factory USB working. Easy adapter kit. This allows us to plug into the car's side plugs and talk to the car. Makes the install easy. OBD2 scan tool. Talk to the engine ECU. And we have a few parts, an SPL connector, and it's like a 1080p color camera. This is in there as some of these so I don't have a reverse camera in them, and we'll just put the reverse camera in like every kit. So if you have the factory camera, you don't need to use this. If you don't have the factory camera, you will be using this. I'll give you a quick rundown on what you'll do at some point and explain it. USB flash drive for updating. I can update on the head unit if I need to. Our Bluetooth Wi-Fi thing. So actually this goes in, and you don't have to use this if you're not using an aftermarket amp, because we have the antenna just by itself. Just like save some space. Trim removal tools, auxiliary in. Majority of people aren't going to be using this, so you can just leave it in the box, and the new template for the back of the AC. So there you go, there's a fair bit in this kit, and that's everything. As we go through, you'll understand, and we put it. Basically what we have to do here is we have to take off this big back piece, unplug something, break this in 2, put a cowl one on here, and put it back together. So we start with some Torx screws here. So that is a T8. I said last time that I did this video on an old model that would I put these in the future kits. So I'll try and have the 2 Torx screw kits in there, and that we'll try and get that done for you guys. It isn't hard for us to add it into the kit for you. So we'll go around and take them all off. There's a fair through 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, plus this little hair comes off too. Taking all those off, these 2, pull that off, you see it's safe. And this whole thing will just slide off like so. And here, you can see that. I do like the sticker here, scrap if dropped. So that whole thing comes off like that. Then we're going to pop off this. I'm going to undo 1, 2, 3, 4. There's obviously like a 4th one under there. These are T5s, I think, Torx. I'll confirm that. Take that off as well. Alright, so these 4 were T5. So this top bit can come off after you've taken off this. I'll just close up of that is, hopefully you can see on the side there, that's where it comes off. So you kind of want to push. You can see there's these little grooves in there. If you get a little flat head in there and just sort of flick it up, it will come up. just be careful because you are keeping this the bottom PCB board, so we do want to keep that. So then we can get rid of this top one. We're actually not going to be sort of using it anymore, and we'll take off our final T5 here. So we had 4 T5s along there in total, 1, 2, 3, 4, which we need to use again. And then what you'll see now is that this actually pulls off and that this top piece comes away. So just put it back how it was, like so. So I've just left that top how it sort of was, and we've got just our bottom piece here. Now I normally just use the back end of the like the box or something like soft to put this on when you're doing that work, and now we want to go and put our piece on here. So when I was doing this, I did sort of shift some things. So if you do shift things, just make sure you come back and just put them all back in where they were, like so, and sit it back down. That's all I moved there. I just had to, there was just a piece of sort of rubber that fit in there that popped out, and just this. So this again, it just pops to here, so you just gotta sort of flick it up. It does have some tabs on the end. The tabs on the end don't actually have too much to do with it. You just have to flick it up. So there's that there. Now what we'll do is we'll grab our screen. I'm just going to take our plugs off the front here, because at some point you've got to take these out anyway, because the wires have to go behind, and you'll see what I mean when we go to put the unit in. So I'll just take these out for now. For the side, these are fairly straightforward. Pull them out, they're just HDMI style cords. There should be a B on here. B matches B, A matches A, and you've got this little plug here, which if you get a little flathead or something in there, you just pop the little clip on it and pull it out. So that's all our wires out, and we grab this and it fits in like the old one did. See all the screws match up. Now again, grab these little ones, they were the T5s, so you want to keep the T5s separate from the other ones you took off later on, and screw them back in. Just support all this when you're screwing it back in, because there's a bit of weight and it doesn't quite sit flat. So if you get a couple of these in, this is not hard, it's just a couple things to unscrew. So that's those two off. Again, it's plastic thread stuff, so don't absolutely sort of reef on it. Just ensure they're all tight. Give them a little check at the end, and that's all pretty good. Then grab your other piece here that came in our kit and slide it over. You should see it fits in like so. It'll make a little click as it drops in. And don't forget this little part here you had before. Slides into there. Which will line it up with its plugs. Then you go through and grab a few larger T8s and put them back in. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12, so go and put all those 12 in, and then that's how that fascia are joined in. There you go, that's all done, and you look at that now and it just looks like how it should have been from factory. Now, one more thing to take off the factory like unit, if you put them up, so both of the CD players at the top there like that, you can see there's a big Phillips in there. So what we'll do is just take that off and put it straight back on the side that it came off on. That'll fit our fascia fine. So there you go. Our one's up made, sorry, our fascia, our deck's all made to fit that. So that is straightforward, and it screws back in. So obviously you got one for both sides, so do one on the other side too. And then that puts these factory brackets back on for the main deck. So now we're back in the car. We've got the main deck down here, got the other deck on the seat. What we want to do, we've got our adapter harness, so grab the adapter harness. This makes the install fairly easy, and what we're doing is we're going to go through and put a few of these plugs in. So what we can do is we can go, yep, which one suits that one? No, it's not that one. Yep, that's that one. Cool. And then we go, there's another one here about this size. Yep, that fits that one. They'll only fit where they're going, and you'll feel they'll clip in quite nicely. If they kind of fit but don't go in nicely, just undo it and just check there's no bent pins in our plug. That's our reverse beeper part. This one here is actually, should come here. It's actually our reverse camera, that and that, and you can see what we have left over is just that big one, a USB, which we won't use yet, and a couple of these are like fuck, so that's fine. Now we grab our purple cam in one here, we'll plug this into here. What we're doing here is we're just testing that everything's going to work as it should. Now this one will plug into bottom there, and I've already put in our blue antenna one. You can put this one in already because that can just stay in there. Then we'll grab these cords again and we'll put them in the back of our unit here. So obviously B to B. What I will do is I'll put in that one in first. That one just clips in. Then this is B, so B goes to B, and A obviously goes to A. Now all I want to really test is we have some sound going, the steering wheel controls work, and we have radio. got all those in. The main 20 pin one here needs to go into the back of our main deck here, so I'll throw that in like so. Give me a little bit of length there, that's all right. Now what's going on? Oh, we've actually got the factory auxiliary port will still work on this head unit, so that will go into the back of our auxiliaries too. If you want to keep the factory auxiliary working, it's up to you. We're just going to turn the car on, and hopefully something should happen on this screen here. And you can see we've got something happening. We've got a power, it's always a good start. Because we've got the CAN bus in here, that's how it does the steering wheel controls and everything, and gets the car's data. I can see it's like telling me like the doors are open. So if I close the door, it would actually close and open again, so I know it's talking to the car's CAN system. I press the volume up, so you can see the volume is going up and down. And then if we put this in reverse, put the car into reverse, and we just check out the screen here. Now I can see it's blank, but it has triggered reverse, and I'll just show you what we need to change there. One place to push that. Alright, so if I click and hold on the screen, it gives me this select settings icon here. I hope you can see that, 4 zeros, and we're on like AHD, so we want to change this to CVBS NTSC, I would guess. Press save, because that's what older cars normally are. And then hopefully when it triggers back into reverse, you can see we have our reverse camera are working, and our trajectory lines are all coming in, and parking sensors will obviously come up there. That is all that done. Fairly straightforward. One thing I didn't test, which I will, is you've got like sound coming through. Just like static. I'll show the antenna, but that's one for now. Alright, so now we basically go through and put all our cords and stuff, and so obviously the main deck fits in the back here. It's a bit tight just because it has the silver bracket here. What I normally suggest doing is I will pop this little thing out here, that little black thing, so it doesn't pushing against the back of the head unit. Majority of the cords we will be running probably under there, and then back up behind this middle bracket. If you did want to get really serious, this middle bracket's pretty weak. You wouldn't even be able to put the fracture radio in without it probably affecting anything. You could take it out, but there's no easy way to take it out without actually chopping it, because it is sort of spot welded onto the side frame here, which is a lot more solid. That's what we will do. So if you wanted to chop this bracket out, it gives you more room. Happy days. Otherwise it does fit in without it. It's just a bit tighter, and that's what we'll be doing here. Right, so now we'll go in and put in all the cables we need. You can do them with these in any order, but our SIM card tray. You can put a SIM card and give the head unit its own number and internet. If you don't understand why you do that, you probably don't need to worry about it. If you do, then you can use that feature. About 10% of our customers probably use it, but it is built in, so you might as well run it into the glove box, because if you ever find out you do need it, then you got it. So that's in there, up there behind that middle bracket again. Now it's actually a USB retention. This one here, pretty straightforward. Plugs into here, matches that plug. Now that keeps that factory USB port working. This is our 2 USBs and mic plug. What I normally do is CarPlay, Android Auto one, plug into here, so that'll be that bottom one working, and on this one here I run into the glove box. And the external mic, sometimes we have in the kit, sometimes we don't. It just depends if they've been working well or not. If it's in the kit, what we get you to do is when it's almost all together, is do a test call with and the external mic and without it, and you can decide do you want to use it or not. External mic you normally run across underneath the wheel, up your door trim, and put it up in your corner up there. So we did take them out at one stage, didn't help, so I can't tell you if they'll be in the kit or not, because this video will obviously be around for a fair while. Run that through. Those are pretty easy, you can actually get your hand to those, so it's quite nice. So that's that done. I will those out, but they'll be fine because those plugs will tuck up back a bit. Third USB port. Now the extra USBs you mainly use if you want to use our dash cam or tire pressuring monitoring kit. Those will plug into a USB port, so that's sort of why we run them to the glove box. So if you do want to add in any of those in the future, you can, or if you do need any of the extra ports because we bring out some extra hardware, well then you can easily get to them. Now antenna, we will in the future hopefully have this hooked already into the kit, but on here it should be the black one on this. Plugs into there like so. This blue wire here, we do need to hook into our blue wire because I don't think it's going to be, we need to give power to the amp. So what we are looking for is, and I will cover this for you guys, we don't have an extra one in this case, that's fine. Sometimes we run an extra one off the harness. So hopefully in the future, if you have this kit, you actually won't have to like do this part. We'll have it all pre-wired, but basically this blue wire here, we're going to hook to this blue wire, and that's going to put power onto our AM FM antenna, so that's all fine. Then our last two are our GPS and 4G antenna. Again, these just need a clear view of the sky with no metal above them, so normally you can just undo these a bit and you can tape them back up or leave the tie on. Show you. Alright, so we need to clear through the sky, through like the windscreen, so we just find a spot where we can put them quite nicely. These are actually quite sort of sealed in here. You can find a spot to put it. Oh, there we go, straight under the back there. So they just have a free stick, like a frame type stick pad. Find your spot you're going to put it, and again, give it a good like press down. Now, if you're always putting something that's like metal in this tray holder, probably don't put it in here. Probably try and get it over. You can put it on top of your aircon vent, or actually above the aircon vent here. You can get like underneath the dash. It doesn't matter if this is like mounted upside down. And the 4G antenna is the same thing. Not quite as precious, the 4G antenna with where it goes, but if you can get it up under the dash there, that'd be the most ideal with a clear view of the sky through the windscreen, even though that's not quite how it works, but it's a good way to put it on. Right, that is basically everything done, and then what we've got to do is obviously the head unit slides in. We've got some plugs we're not using, so we want to keep this as tight as possible, get things the other way. So remember, you had your two AC plugs down the bottom here, so don't forget about those. So that was one of them, this was the other one, so don't get confused at the part of the head unit. And then the deck's going to slide in here, and the cable's going to have to come up behind here. So I'll go through and I'll tape it a bit, and then we'll go through. Right, so I should have mentioned this before. This little bit here, put a bit of tape on the top here, and I just like wrap a bit of tape around it because it is sharp, and the bottom bit, saving like wires or your fingers. I just touched my finger on it, it's pretty sharp. Kind of, so obviously GPS there, 4G antenna here, put our reverse beeper speaker here. Now I've tried to tuck any wires back I can, back into here or back into there. I like popped that little wire out of there that was in there. Try to tuck like wires back either side, and everything else I've run down behind here, so hopefully when we push like this sort of the main deck in, we can take it back up. I've done a little bit of like sort of taping, as you can see here. I have put our antenna wire here, plugged into here, and the blue wire here has been tapped into our blue wire, that one just there, our blue ant wire. So if that's our plug, that is it. On our harness, we'll try and have it tapped in already. It's just providing 12 volt to the antenna amplifier. If you don't have it, you'll probably find your AM's a bit crap. This little bit's always a little bit of fun because, like I said, this unit's quite tight when you go to put it in. So what we'll do is we'll sit this down here, and we know, okay, these cables should go up above it, so that's all going to be okay. So these cables basically just made a mistake already, so I'll put that there, that's no good. Anyway, these cables got to go up over here like that, so we'll leave those to one side, and I will just fix this other one here by pulling it back. Always do something like that, so when you go to do it, make sure they're all kind of in the right place, otherwise you almost get to putting it in and you realise that it's not quite going to do the job. There you go. Alright, cool. Pair these, so these will take it up the top, it's alright. We'll take these underneath, underneath behind like this. Alright, majority of our stuff is all going underneath. Right, so now I'll sort of go through, and hopefully you can kind of see us well in the video. So this is when we got to go through and be like, okay, let's plug everything in, start from one side and then work our way to the other side. So in like total there, I've got the 20 pin, the video one, so 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got 5 into this auxiliary one. Remember, our cam in needs to go into our purple one. If you're going to run a secondary camera, you'd put it into the F-cam input. That's handy when people obviously want to run caravan, trailer cameras, camera on the front. There's a few different things we can do with cameras, so if you do need to do something interesting with a camera, just ask us and we can probably sort it out for you. This one I again took over the top, so that should have gone under the bottom. That USB going in the bottom through that gap. So let's get ready to sit there. Should have just done that from the start. If you like pull both sides of the glove box, just push them in, drop down like that. Makes it much easier to run those cables. Alright, so then we had our GPS and our 4G. Auxiliary we weren't going to use. 4G, that'll be lying around somewhere. There it is. And our FM AM antenna. Righty. So, now if we slowly start to push all this back in, lift these up, and as they go back in, what you kind of want to do is, the ones you can do it with anyway, tuck them back up and out. So we'll see which ones can come back up and out of the way a bit more. Now, see behind you can see it's a bit of a colossal pile of cables at the moment, but the idea is like this deck's going to sit straight in here, so there's not much room, so you got a little bit of like room down and like the rest of the room's up and out, so you just got to work those cables in the best. So let's push back in now. It takes a bit of a push. If you just like push it in, get these two lugs lining up, and then I'll like put in your 7mm screws again here. We should be pretty good to go. It is a tight fit, that's just the way it is. Again, if you want to, just chop that metal bar out of the way. It isn't going to affect anything. It isn't structural, and you can still put the original head unit back in even if that wasn't there. So no need really not to take it out. I have some more room. I would have taken it out today, but I just didn't have the tools to take it out with me. So we get this in. Now once this is in, we want to do our check again like we did last time. I'll plug in the unit and making sure something's going to happen. Grab it again. Run your cables up to the right place again. Make sure you put them, run them back up. Otherwise, you have to pull it out, do it again. Just use a little trim tool just to give it a little push. Turn the car on, and hopefully something happens. Aha. So, I've got A and B plugged in. Oh yeah, I've got power. Cool. Got worried there for a second. Cool. So we've got power happening. Got sound.
All things vintage and eclectic at Annie's.
Our FM, AM radio is working. Steering wheel controls are working. Now we'd like to just have a little look at reverse. Reverse is working. So steering wheel controls checked, the radio checked. Now that was a bit strange when I first turned it on. So when something like that happens, I just like to turn it back off, turn the car on again. Okay, quick boot it up. Leave the car for a bit longer, just make sure everything's fine. I'm sure it is, that was just a bit of a random situation. Everything seems alright there, so we've tested all that out. I'm happy with that, all looking good. You see the headlight dim works there. A lot of people run their headlights on auto. Creates a bit of an issue here because obviously the headlights just come on all the time. You can actually just turn auto off and you can crank the daylight backing up. Just means it isn't going to adjust when you turn your headlights on. You can choose what you prefer anyway. Right, we're happy with that. That's all in. Now to the next step I normally do is I try and call someone just to get an idea of the sound quality, if we want to use the external mic or not use it. So I've just got the car started up here now. What you do, come into Bluetooth. If you've got an iPhone, go into it, turn your Bluetooth off and back on, and then press search. If you've got an Android, do the same thing. I don't know why you have to do that on their phones, but it just refreshes it. You'll get something on your phone that says pair, click allow. Now that's the Bluetooth bit done, but it's gonna actually hook over the hotspot for this part, which is CarPlay. And if you're on an Apple, you're gonna get an extra pop-up says use CarPlay. I'll say use CarPlay. And now we've got a wireless CarPlay going through. So now I just do a test call on this, just make sure it all sounds fine. Right, so if we turn the car on and just chuck it obviously down a few, leave it on so that beeping doesn't give us all a headache. Plug in your aircon plugs that were there. And then that cable will just coil up behind. You can put the bracket back in or not if you want, it's up to you. But it just tucks up into here, and then all your holes should sort of be lining up. You want those two middle things to find each other, like so. And you should be looking pretty good. So that's it back in. Again, back to your special 7mm. Get a couple of these started, and you'll be on your way. So there you go. I'll put the rest in. So obviously 2 out the bottom, 8 in total. So go around and put them all back. So I just did a test call on it, then just with that. No, it's in mic and it sounded fine. So I'm gonna run it. Just got to push in your bottom bit here. They have 2 little holes either side. So if you line up that, it'll just push in and clip in, and then that's where your final 2 7mm little screws were, and then we are all good. All those are back in, and we'll just go and put everything back in reverse. And then we'll put everything back in reverse way he took it out. So line up the clips, always the key here. And if the clips are lined up, everything else will just come into place nicely. So you got those 2. And you got your trim bits down the side. These trim bits down the side, if you just line up your top, there's a top little circle hole that'll help you out. Circle hole lined up, and you should be all good. That slides in like that. To the other side, then you got your top aircon vent here. Yeah, and this should all be fairly straightforward. If you have an issue like that, just take it back out, double check you had everything in the right place and then put it back in, because obviously I did it there and you see where I just took it off and put it back in, everything worked well. So that's why we always say make sure you get the clips lined up, because when the clips do line up correctly, everything will just push in like it's meant to and not get stuck. So there you have it all installed. You can see it hooks to the car's CAN system. It's telling us the door's open there. Wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, so pretty handy. Jump in your car, that'll like pop up. We obviously have factory steering wheel controls working, a factory reverse camera, and you've still got your trajectory lines as you spin the wheel working there. Pretty handy, these things. You can install whatever apps you like on here. We obviously have access to the Play Store here, so it's just like a tablet, like an Android tablet. You can put it's got some offline like maps on here. You can add offline like maps. Also use the OBD2 scan tool to run apps like Talk, so you can bring in data from the engine ECU and check engine faults and whatnot. Running like Android's also handy because it opens us. You can connect up our dash cams that run into here. You can connect up our tyre pressure system into here, and anything else we bring out in the future. So that's it all there, looking good. So yeah, the install is not too bad. It's just a little bit time consuming because you have to swap everything over. I would probably give yourself 2.5 hours to do it, to like 3 hours, and you should be good. Oh, and we do obviously that there still works. We can have that like working. We didn't hook it up here because only if I want to use the auxiliary you can. Majority of people don't use it anymore, and we just ran our extras into the glove box there.